Well, thank you guys all officially for being here. It sure is great to see everyone. And I just love these first Thursdays because we get to visit, even if it's by Zoom. And I don't mean to sound corny, but heck, I miss seeing everyone in between conferences. So it's really great to see folks. And even if it's just Zoom, thank you for being here. Let's see if I can find the share button. Callie Joe, are you seeing the PowerPoint presentation? Awesome. Well, we are, it's October 5th. It is the first Thursday of the month, and this is the CTAT Professional Roundtable. And again, we couldn't appreciate you guys being here more because working together and sharing with each other is really what it's all about. Okay, all of these sessions are being recorded. So if for some reason, uh, that you do not want to be recorded and posted, make sure that you participate with your picture off because we will post these, record them, and post them all to YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to the CTAT YouTube channel, make sure because it will ding every time we post a video. And all these CTAT roundtables are all about working together. I enjoy them. Even next gen with the new administrators, part of the reason I enjoy them so much is because even when I get on one of these, I'll learn 3 things that I never knew. And so they're just terrific. And I love these get togethers. And this is unbelievably season 4 of our roundtable because these started way back during the COVID when they were just COVID updates. So it's unbelievable, but this is our 3rd season of roundtables. We do want to thank you for the summer 2023 conference one last time. The presentations were incredible. I really enjoyed being at the Anatole. And now that we've been there once, and I'm listening to Robin and Leslie and Lindsay and Angie and Jamie when they talk about ways to improve it, I think the next few conferences we have at the Anatole will be even better. So I'm looking forward to those. Now, the Winter Leadership Conference is February 5th through the 7th, and it's in San Antonio. And so I think, Robin, if you're on here, where you can, did we just post the registration? That just went out, correct?
Well, if you can believe it, Mark, we opened registration on Monday and we have over 100 people registered so far.
Good grief. That's a lot. Does that happen normally or are we on a is that a pretty
We
quick
are
pace?
already outpacing last year.
Well, let's get it on. I mean, we got a little bit bigger spot, so we ought to be able to let's roll. Let's set a record for the winter, guys. That's a good spot, and that is the Grand. Is that right? Not the Renaissance, but the Grand.
It's the Grand Hyatt. Now, last winter, it was Galveston. The one before that, we were at the Hyatt Regency, and it's a
Regency,
smaller
that's right.
property. This one's bigger. Yeah, we'll be at Grand Hyatt this coming February in San
Fantastic.
Antonio.
Well, might as well click and register and get that early bird rate so you don't have to call asking for it after the time, like I always did. But anyway, so on the website and with the registration or the call for presenters, and make sure that you share your knowledge right here, like you do on the Zooms and on the roundtables. Get on there and tell us what is working great at your district and let others copy it and move it along. And I know nearly everyone in here has presented, and we can't appreciate it more, but that's how you really benefit the conferences and give us some feedback and present your best stuff. Let's hear the great things that are going on and share how we can replicate those all over the state. Also, Lindsay, if you're in here, Lindsay may want to talk real quickly about the membership campaign of becoming a CTE rock star. And it's more than just an initiative. We're trying to create growth and strength by the association. The bigger we get and the better informed our members are, the stronger we'll be across the stations, across the state. So Lindsay, if you're in here, do you want to say anything over the membership campaign?
I am here. Yes, we just launched this campaign this week, and word of mouth is the best advertising. So if you guys could share when we post on social or emails, if you are not a member, please join. If you are, we would love to have you share the love with everyone else. So this will run all through the month of October. And again, we're just trying to recruit as many new members as we can. We have a lot of new things going on, new programs, and we want to share the love. So please help us do that.
Lindsay and Robin, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say if we get 2,000 members, I will wear a white Elvis jumpsuit at the opening session for winter. So you guys have something to shoot for now.
Y'all heard it here first, guys. So help us out.
That must-see TV there. Okay, today is September 7th, and Robin was talking a little bit about when we were talking. We went to a TSAE conference. I think it was a week ago, but it seems like a month ago because so much has been going on in the past few days. But anyway, we went to a session that was just AI. And I'm telling you, folks, artificial intelligence is here to stay. And it is the dude. And I've been toying around with it. Our curriculum task force, when we were getting ready for the new teacher training, the curriculum task force really brought this to my attention to begin with, using like ChatGPT and Magic School to write lesson plans. It'll go in there and watch a YouTube video, and after it'll analyze the YouTube video, then it'll come up with questions and a summary of the video and questions for your students. This AI's coming, and hopefully we can get out in front of it, or at least not too far behind. And I've been doing some research and really working with it. And I've been using Sammy, this ChatGPT. And so you can just go down in here into the bottom. It's very simple to use. And you just type whatever question or whatever you want it to do. And then you hit that enter button, and here it goes. So I just typed in here just a minute ago, create a picture of Mark Boshier in a Western outfit. And you hit that enter button, and here, I mean, I'm telling you, is that a spitting image or what? And it just does that electronically. Sammy, will Edgy Things do that?
We don't have that feature, Mark.
Well, you might look at incorporating that into your next upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you a picture of you in there.
It's awesome. Well, anyway, be aware AI is on the way. Also,
Mark, I think that picture was a little re-imaged, buddy.
Maybe a touch, but pretty good likeness.
I'm enjoying looking at your history, understanding women.
That was when that guy was talking about what was the one what is a woman? That guy was going around forever. I was saying what ChatGPT said about it. It didn't know any more than I did. So today we have birthdays. We have Ray Kroc is kind of considered the kind of founding father of McDonald's. CTAT's own RoundTable, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Barry Switzer, ex-OU coach and ex-Dallas Cowboy coach, the bootlegger's boy, Mr. Switzer. And then Mr. Taylor Swift is having a birthday today, all on October 5th. Also today for happenings, the Beatles released what was their first hit, Love Me Do. The Wright brothers on this day flew the Wright Flyer 3, not one, but 3. They flew it, what was a new world record. It flew for 24 miles and took it 39 minutes. And the first James Bond movie, Dr. No, all that happened today, October 5th. Our roundtable is all about working together. Our own Neil deGrasse Tyson says knowledge is coming, and here it comes. If you're fairly new to the roundtables and you're not familiar with CTAT programming, well, we have some basics that we do. We do the next gen administrators. We're still taking registration for that. If the only session you missed was over programs of study. Of course, we do these monthly roundtables. We have a summer and winter conference for all CTE professionals in the state. We have just started with our regional trainings, and our our first set of regional trainings or over new teacher training. And then also we do district program evaluations, and those are filling up quick. So if you'd like a district program evaluation in the spring, shoot me an email, mark@ctat.org. And here's the card for next gen administrators. If you have 1 to 5 years and you really like to join a cohort and be a part of getting to know your fellow new CTAT members, you can join that next gen administrators for the 23-24 cohort. You take a picture of that scan, give you 3 seconds. And of course, it's also on the website. I do want to talk about our CTAT regional training that just happened at Sugar Land. We had a little over 80 participants as far as teachers, and they were incredible. Clark Saunders with FBLA and Diana Weber was there with BPA, representing all of the CTSOs. They spoke about all the CTSOs and how beneficial they are. And also Miss Scott from Reality Works was there. We didn't open it up for vendors. They just called and offered to help with the lunch. And so we appreciated Reality Works there. And the trainers for Sugarland were Larkin LeSueur, Brooke Martin, Angelique Sanchez, and Vonnie Anderson. And I'm telling you, folks, they were incredible. Just one right after another. I think we had 7 different sessions going on throughout the day, and they just kept getting better throughout the day. They were terrific. So thank you to all the trainers and to all the participants, if any of you are on here. Also, certainly we want to thank Robin and Angie and Leslie and Lindsay and Jamie for all the work that they did put this together, because this was just an addition. They kind of worked to put that together in order to for us to be adding these services. And Angie even had to come up there and get all the room and everything together. So she's just been terrific. All of them have. Thank you guys very much. The next session is next week, October 10th in Denton at the Embassy Suites. Lindsay says that we are closing registration tomorrow, and we'll send a letter out to all the participants tomorrow telling them, you know, what time to be there, when we're going to register, to bring a device and all that stuff. But we have a few more spots open in Denton at the Denton Convention Center, which is at the Embassy Suites by Hilton. And of course, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to send a new teacher, get them in there tomorrow. Also, this is going a little bit long, but the Finance plus CTE Joint Academy that several of you went to this year, we're repeating that. We will have a lot of the same topics, plus a lot of new topics as well. And one of the most requested new topics that we're going to have at the Finance plus CTE Academy is we're going to add school-based businesses. And that's why we extended the sessions by half a day, is because folks were wanting some additional topics. So based on feedback, we added a half a day, and we have those additional topics coming at you. And so the first one is going to be in Denton on October 25th and 26th. The next academy, if you're in the Austin area, will be in Round Rock on March 25th through the 26th. And you can register for these on the CTAT or the TASBO website, or you can follow the links from the dispatch or the CTAT chat. One of the things that we really want to share with you is an idea that came from the area presidents, was to develop a site where teachers could put lesson plans, they could put instructional resources, administrators could put resources, counselors could put resources, where we have a resource site. That way, if someone leaves their job or leaves their position, then that doesn't get re-uploaded. And excuse me, the uploads don't get lost. So what we wanted to do was establish a stable environment to keep these resources. And I'm going to exit out of the, are you guys seeing my clearinghouse folders now, Rick? Is that what you see on the screen?
Yes, we can see the folders.
Okay, so Here's when you go into the website, you go in, there'll be these folders. And of course, we have an upload folder where people will go in to upload lessons, and then they'll be dispersed to the different career clusters. And Kristen Petrunin provided us with some business marketing and finance. So once the folders all get populated, they'll look something like this. And so you would click on business marketing and finance. Maybe you would go to sports entertainment, and you would have PowerPoints, lesson plans. Just everyone would share a resource that revolved around that career cluster or that specific program of study. So this is something that we're really putting a lot of work into, Lindsay especially, and hopefully this is something that'll be a long-term benefit to the members. We'll see, but right now what we're asking for is that we get resources. We need resources in there to seed, and once we get a good selection of resources in there, then we'll be able better to improve the site. Okay. Also, if you haven't had a chance to register your school for the Make It Movement live stream from Cowboy Stadium tomorrow, you still have time on that. And there's links in the Dispatch and the CTAT chat, or you can go to the Make It Movement website and register your school. And I think, and they give a free toolkit to go along, like a workbook, but not exactly workbook. But anyway, we asked Isaac Torres if this was going to be available to watch later, and he certainly said it would. So if they don't have them in class that period, they can maybe watch it another day. Lindsay, by the way, just posted the curriculum resources website in the group chat. Oh my gosh, someone posted in chat that their AI will take summary of minutes after the meeting. Robin, we may have to quit having these. That's a little too spooky. Okay, also one of the things that I thought was neat is that NASA is doing a deal for a next gen STEM project. This was in the CTAT chat. So if there's anything, if you want be a part of that project, if I thought maybe your floral design teachers or your horticulture teachers may want to use that, and maybe you can get a tree to grow on the moon. Of course, we all talked about last time about the OSHA being adopted into the TEKS for some of the introductory courses. Also, we talked about the phase in for IBCs. This will be the graduating course of class of 2024, and they have to earn an IBC with one course from that aligned program of study that is level 2 or higher. So this is the first year that there is a stipulation that comes along with earning an IBC. We do have the new college and career exploration TEKS are up, and they are posted from the TEA website. And then if you want to find the numbers, the PEIMS numbers, if you haven't put that in your system, you probably need to do that before snapshot. And when you go onto the web-enabled data standards, make sure that your year says 23-24. If it doesn't, it won't pop up right, and you'll end up using the wrong number and get a nasty email from the PEIMS people. How about those Rangers winning that wild card series? I know that impressed everyone. I think Houston may have made the playoffs too for some of you guys. And Homer says, woohoo, I agree with Homer. Now, just a little bit, keep your head on a swivel. And Robin, I think, is going to come in here and kind of give once we close out, Robin can give you some really great background because she hears all the oohs and ahs and ins and outs. But here is the layman's look at it. So we're about to go into a special session for the Texas legislature. And we fully expect that this will be, well, we know it's going to be over school finance. Now, what we're really sure of is that they're going to address vouchers. But vouchers will not, it's not just going to be a special session up and down vote on vouchers. So there's going to be a lot of trading and hem-hawing going around. And so there's no telling what will happen. So we need to keep our head on a swivel because things are going to, as slow as they moved back in the spring, they're going to move that fast in the special session. They're going to move quick. And so we're paying special attention. And so here's what we want to watch for. Is any funding bill that makes a change to the state CTE allotment, like House Bill 100 did in the regular session. And so House Bill 100 removed the basic allotment from the CTE allotment and left only the weights. And so that resulted in a 75% decrease in dedicated CTE funds. And so if you were looking at your summary of finances, then your career tech allotment would be on, in this year, it's on line 25. And so let's say that Sample ISD here had a near final of $9.8 million was their CTE allotment. And of course, 55% of that has to be spent in PIC 22. Okay, so if House Bill 100 had a pass, or if a bill like it were to pass in the future that took the basic allotment out of the CTE allotment, well, this is what would happen. We would remove 75% from the career tech allotment, and that money would move up back into the regular allotment. So, except for the CTE folks and some good community members and good representatives, the school overall will not be losing money. It's just a matter they're going to take that money and move it from CTE back into the regular allotment. And as long as I've been alive, that money has been in the CTE allotment. This would be a dramatic change. Should it happen? Nothing has happened yet. And we don't know of anything to come. Robin, I'm sure will speak on some rumors, but when you take, you're not even left with it takes 85 to 90% of your funds just to pay teacher salaries. You won't have enough to pay teacher salaries. So that would be a dramatic shift to CTE. So that's really what we're watching, is to see if that pops up again in special session. Now, here's some proactive steps you may take. Again, I can't say this enough. Nothing has going on. We haven't heard of any bill that does that. We're just telling you to keep a watch on it because things are going to move quick. You could send an email to your representative in your own words, very kind and polite, saying, hey, thank you for all you're doing for us up there. Good luck in the special session. Please work to keep the CTE allotment intact, and just put a bug in their ear. You're not telling them to call. It's not a call bank or a phone tree or anything. It's just a good proactive thing to do, to reach out to your legislative representative in Texas and let them know, hey, keep the CTE allotment intact during the school finance. I think that'd be a positive step. You can simply go to Texas Legislature online at capital.texas.gov. You can say, it has a line there, who represents me? You click on that button, you fill in actually all you gotta do is type the name of your city. You might want to put your address in there too, because I'd put the address of my school if I were you, to see who's the representative in the area of your school district. And then it pops right up. And so you get your member, and then there's a button right there. You can click the email. All of that takes about 4 seconds to do. You send a short, friendly email in your own words. I think would be a good, positive, proactive step. And then we're not really hammering down or doing any kind of phone bank or anything like that. It's just good business to do something friendly, in my opinion. I'm sorry the update took a little bit long, but I look forward to getting back into the gallery, and where we can kind of see everyone. And Robin, do you want to take just a minute to kind of share anything you've heard in this recorded session of the Zoom?
I think you described it perfectly. I think that proactive step to contact your lawmaker is the best thing you can do right now. We don't know for sure if something like House Bill 100 will come up again. So far, the governor has said this call relates to school choice for vouchers. And so there are a lot of lawmakers who are passionate about a lot of things. So we don't know what we're going to see yet, but we want you guys to be ready in case there is anything related to CTE funding that could negatively impact your programs. So, Mark, I think that's great advice that you gave everybody.
Well, it's just it'd be almost neglectful if we weren't telling you kind of what to look for, and so just kind of keep an eye out because Robin, how fast will this move?
Well, that's the odd thing is that remember last session when House Bill 100 came up for its hearing in committee, in the House Pub Ed Committee, there were blanks in the bill draft related to CTE finance. And we kept hearing from the offices, oh, CTE is going to be fine. We have no intention of harming CTE. And then this bill with blanks passes out of committee. So we don't even know what it's going to do until it reaches the House floor. And those blanks are filled in a way that is not beneficial to CTE. And so
Well,
that was an incredible tactic that kept us in the dark until the House had something to vote on.
And we were there a lot last session, and I think I can honestly say that none of the elected representatives were trying to cut CTE. I think even they were being told from some circles that there'd be more money for CTE. But the key is it's not dedicated funds to CTE. And if the funds aren't dedicated to CTE over the long haul, they will not be used on CTE. It'll be a free for all over funding, just like it is. It would not be beneficial to career and technical education students for sure. All right, like again, sorry I took a little bit of extra time there. Does anyone have any comments, questions? I didn't even talk about the minute change in the student attendance accounting handbook. I figured we'd beat that to death, and you guys. But what comments or questions do you have?
So since you brought it up, does anybody know how a PD waiver factors into the 45 minutes?
A PD waiver, if you'll, and Lisa, help me out, but as I understand it, I saw Lisa down at the bottom, but a PD waiver, professional development days do not count against you. You do not have to make up the time for that. And that is all in section 3.82 of the student attendance accounting handbook. And if you'll go to where, I think if you go to where the new rules are and then you click on that link, it goes to 3.82, and field trips and professional development waivers are don't count against your minutes. Did I, you guys at the service centers, did I say that kind of correctly?
Good job. I'm going to drop the piece about that in the chat for everybody.
All right, thank you. Lisa's going to put a link in there, or something out there. 3.82. Yeah, bad weather doesn't count. A COVID wouldn't count. So, does that get your question answered, Travis, or was it your question more specific?
I think that'll answer it for now.
We had one of your teachers yesterday. He was a good guy. Good
Mr.
fellow.
Tillman?
Yeah, really good guy. He was wearing the Hutto brand proud. Any other questions, comments? Thanks for posting that in the chat, Lisa. Tally Joe, would you like to describe the teachers from the new teacher training yesterday? Tally Joe came and was supporting and gave a welcome as our CTAT president. Those good group of teachers, wasn't it?
I do, and I think the interesting part is it was a variance of age and even industry. So we had a large in fact, we had a large group of agriculture teachers, which was good. We have AV, we had health science, pretty much had someone from every cluster. And so that was a good networking ability. I know the Hutto teacher didn't have a culinary teacher with him, so we met a little bit there. But I think that you had a really rooted set of teachers that when watching them, they were so engaged. They went through every presentation. They were doing a lot of the activities and deep diving, truly wanting to be better at their craft. And so it was really exciting to watch them grow.
The three biggest groups, I think if I remember right, were the ag teachers, the health science, and the business marketing and finance. And then all the other clusters were kind of sprinkled out. It'll be interesting to see if the Denton presentation is the same. Fantastic. JJ, any news on the career placement peaks? Last time you said y'all just about had that finalized.
Yeah, we sent it to the board, and I think it's up for reading. Is it the
first reading?
Yeah, sounds right.
So then,
not the career prep, but the Craig, help me out. It's the project-based research.
Project-based research.
The project-based research that we renamed as CT Capstone.
Yeah.
You renamed it that?
That was the suggested we came up with. That way it could go across multiple POSs.
Yeah, good point.
Now, whether they adopt it that way or not, it's wait to see.
A lot of folks called it Capstone anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only thing, well, I guess you could have 3 capstone projects. There's nothing against that, is there? If you take it more than
Mark,
one.
I will say our advisory group for the State Board of Education received yesterday the agriculture TEKS for feedback and draft recommendations for several courses, and those are due on October 31st. So from that State Board Advisory Group, we'll be getting those back to them. So those are getting exciting. I think it's about 15 courses that we've got to give feedback on, though they look really good.
And the link, if they want to provide feedback to that, is in the CTAT chat. Pretty sure, Tally Joe.
Mm-hmm. No, this was just from my advisory side that I have to do. So.
Oh, you're on that committee.
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good, very good. How'd they pick the 15 that they were going to rewrite? Alphabetical by program of study?
So we've been working, I think my original meeting, because we're just the advisory side. So it's the actual drafts that have been presented from those TEKS review committees back to us for review. So I can tell you it's Principles of Ag, Professional Standards, Ag Business, Practicum in Ag, Extended Practicum, the Innovative Course, Ag Leadership, Research and Communication. And those are under Lance Keith. And then Jennifer Jackson and I are looking at the animal science ones. And then Mr. Renchie and Miss Jones are looking at the plant and soil science ones.
That is awesome. It does kind of sound like they went kind of by programs of study.
Program of study, they did.
Let's see, Amy Alexander, are you in here? Because that is super interesting. I read your post in the chat. Amy,
yes,
are you?
I'm here.
Amy, tell what you were sending out there. That's the first I'd heard of that. That's incredible.
So we happened to find just by, I had a district that was looking at their program of study sheet online and found that a course that had been listed as a level 2 is now a level 1. and that particular program of study. And so I went through and compared all of the program of study sheets and found a total of 17 changes that had been made. And we've asked TEA about that because there has not been any communication that was being done, because that they're not part of the refresh. They're just part of cleanup they were doing. And so we've kind of asked some questions about that. Will some like we have a district that was giving a certification in one of the level 2s that got moved to a level 1. So will they be grandfathered for this year, since these changes were made after school started? But we haven't gotten an answer on that. So, and also on the TEA website, it doesn't mention anything about them being updated. It still shows that they are from September, I think, of 2022. So just curious if other people had happened to notice that.
Typically, here lately, they have been, Marcette and them have been terrific about when they make a change, they post a link in red on the TEA website. So maybe they'll do that. But Robin, am I right in saying that the state board or the legislature, they gave TEA the ability just to go in and make changes to programs of study? That doesn't have to go through anybody. TEA just goes in and waves the wand. And
that is correct.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing. That gives them the ability to do some cleanups. But Amy, I'm astonished that there were 17 changes made. That's a lot of changes to programs of study.
Amy, I will chime in. I have an email from Lacey Freeman that's from September 6th that says most of the framework documents have been complete, corrected. There are a few that may be updated. They anticipate publishing the CTE lookup tables in the near future. And she included for me a snapshot of the BIM 1 lab course, because that was the one I was asking about, indicating it is now a level 1 course across all programs of study. And it was basically, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be, and there is no dispensation for where you offered it or where you thought it was. If a student has that course and that's, has the Microsoft Word, for example, this year, and they got it and they didn't take anything after BIM, that and certification isn't going to count. That's the way that we were led to believe.
That's correct. You're correct, Rick.
Well, that does make sense because the computer can't read it as both things. It has to be one or the other. That's why prior to the changes, you were getting if it was level 1 in one and level 2 in another, it was a level 2 because it couldn't read it as both. So.
And they decided if it's a level 1 and a level 2, now it's a level 1 everywhere.
It's a level 1.
Even though it's a dual credit class, in many cases where you crosswalk it with, what is it, 1301?
Yeah, dual credit. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of schools give that for dual credit.
And then their rationale was because it lacked the rigor.
Amy, Tally Joe is asking that those be maybe put in the chat. Do we have a link to that, or is that just the normal link? Tally Joe, did I ask your question right?
No, I was thinking, because everyone was talking, that if everybody wanted to identify those same 17, I know we're looking at things to put in our administrator folders and things of that nature.
Amy, do you have the list of those changes, or did y'all just count them as you were going?
No, I have a list that I typed up, so I can, I guess I can just paste that into the chat.
Yeah, and if you'll email that to me at mark@ctat.org, I'll send that out as a follow-up.
Okay.
If there's anything I like, it's a good follow-up email, don't you, Rick? All right, what else do we have? I see Carol. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Lisa Carr.
Hi, how are you?
Long time no see.
Has anybody heard anything about the programs of study refresh, when those are going to be rolled out? They said fall, but it's fall.
we talked about that last week just a little bit. My understanding was fall too, but then Lisa and Chelsea and Mark Parkinson, some of the service center, Heather, they talked about it could even be the spring. Have y'all heard anything new? Some of you service center guys? Still may be the spring.
We know the regional programs of study updates won't even release until December because of the refresh.
So, Lisa, as soon as we find out anything on the refresh, we'll send out I think we call those a fast forward when we send out a special email. We'll send you out, we'll send that out quick as we get it. Because my guess is we'll send that out quicker than it'll come out in the CTETA newsletter because they're just coming out every 2 or 3 months now. Carol Brewer, I see Carol down there, and I've seen several people on there that were on the curriculum task force. The curriculum, the content for the training was incredible. We really appreciate the work that you guys on the curriculum task force did in putting together that content. It was fantastic. And I was sharing with Robin, my concern is that when you have somebody make the content that's not doing the presentation, that it never reads exactly right, but that was not the case. It flowed perfectly, and it just worked out terrific. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Mark. That was fun.
Well, y'all did a great job. Miss Herron, do you have time to jump in there and visit a second about what you just posted in the chat? That's good information.
Yeah, sure, Mark. I sent him an email because, as you know, down here in Houston, we are under state takeover. So yeah, from Wes, that was the last email I just received from him on September 27th. So those were his exact words. I just posted what he emailed me directly.
So it could, the email that Les sent Ms. Herron was, we are creating a number of resources, including new program of study frameworks that we have scheduled to be available later in the fall. And I don't know if that's the 17 corrections that Amy was talking about, or maybe, but anyway, so that could mean that state toolkits that are scheduled to be available next spring. So it may be, reading your email, Ms. Herron, that all that stuff gets trickled out. Is that how did you read it in the context of your question?
Yes, absolutely, because we were asking a lot about some of the changes, just as everybody on the call was asking about, and when would certain courses be transitioned into, the different levels and things like that. So, yep, we use quite a bit of courses, as you can imagine, and so, yeah, we want to prepare our 49 high schools.
It's a little 2A in Houston there anyway, aren't you?
Oh,
I don't know how some of you got you are earning your wings, Miss Herron. Thank you very much. That is quite the task. All right, fantastic. Any other comments, questions? Fall ends December 20th. That's Christmas break. See, even I caught that one, Rick.
When we hear late fall, just remember December 20th is the end of fall. So December 19th might be a good day.
For them to drop it?
Yes.
Well, that's a pessimistic outlook, Rick. That's a very good point. It's likely to come out then, but I think the thought behind that would be is give people a little bit of time to scramble and digest it over the holidays. So I can see the pluses minus us to doing it right then. There's a political term for dumping news on Friday too.
Hey, Mark, I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Something that we've talked about. So with the updates to the SAW coming out, our PEMS director sent us some things that concerned her. I didn't know if anybody else had noticed this, but like in the same paragraph, it says that CTE classes must be an average of 45 minutes over your whatever your period of time is. So like we do on our week, but then in the same paragraph, it'll say CTE classes must be a minimum of 45 minutes. So we're like, is it an average of 45 minutes or is it a minimum of 45 minutes?
Okay.
Because
go
every
ahead.
it says average numerous times, but then that one sentence says all CTE classes must be at least a minimum of 45 minutes.
I'm going to give you my best interpretation of it and then let other folks jump in, because if you hear 2 or 3 different things, then, okay. So, prior to this year, they had to average 45 minutes over a cycle. So if you were on a 7-period day and you met class every day, well, a cycle was 1 week.
Right.
Well, and so, but if you were a block schedule and your classes met every other day, then that means that one class would meet 3 days in 1 week and 2 days the next week. So that cycle would last for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all of the creative scheduling that's going around now, including the 4-day week, I think they felt compelled to say that it has to average 45 minutes over the school year. Well, if you have a class that meets exactly 45 minutes and then you take an early release one day, well, you're not getting 45 minutes in that school. And so it's no longer a cycle. You have to average 45 minutes over the entire year. And so the only way to come up with the number of instructional minutes that you have to have per period or per CTE class, per period is not the right way to say it really, but per CTE class is to take the number of instructional days times 45, and that's what you have to have a V1.
Okay.
So if you have a pep rally that cuts into a CTE class or a early release that cuts into a CTE class, then that time has to be made up into the schedule somewhere to average the 45 minutes.
Okay. Because, yeah, we do like a late arrival in Humble ISD. So we start on Thursdays. Our secondary schools start 2 hours late. So on some campuses, that day's classes are shorter than 45 minutes. But the other 4 days of the week, they're like 53 or 54 minutes. So it's still average 45 for the week, but not every class is 45 minutes.
Now, instead of looking at it over a week or a 2-week period, you're looking at it over the entire year. That's
Okay.
kind of the primary difference.
Okay.
So, Justin, is that the way you read it too?
Yeah, we had that same question. We actually sent it in for comment. And we were collaborating SAISD, Northeast ISD, Northside was probably on some of that as well. And that was the exact thing she sent to us, was over the school year.
Okay. So we'll look at it from that perspective. Thank y'all.
When I translated it to Marcanese, it probably got dumbed down a lot, but that's kind of the layman's.
Yeah. Okay.
And Justin probably sent you guys a formula too, if it looked like the other emails, and just telling you exactly how to do it.
Yeah, no, it was just a narrative. It was still under comment at the time that we sent that stuff in, because we had those clarifications, or we wanted those clarifications, but no formula. That's exactly what her response was right there. I copied it out of the email.
Very good.
That's actually good, because the formula that they included was if you had a class period that was less than 45 minutes, the day still counted, but none of the minutes did. That's the formula that was posted in the CTAT forum, was you had to count the day, but if it was 43 minutes long, those 43 minutes did not count towards your total number of minutes when calculating the average.
That's what Lacey Freeman sent, that formula that said
Yeah.
they did not count. You'd have to make that whole day up over the course of the year.
Right, so
hope-
this clarification's better.
So in some ways, and I'm not talking about overall school attendance because there's more than, believe it or not, there's more than just CTE going on. You know, elementary school meets down there too. But you're better off not having school at all than you are going half a day, which is kind of an odd little glitch. Because they don't care if you have 180 days or 162 days. But however many days you have to have 45 minutes on the average. Okay, any other comments? Thank you guys. Great input. Miss Murr, does Todd have anything he wants to jump in and add from the higher ups? Or did he bolt?
He bolted. He bolted at the very first.
He didn't want to hear us talking about superintendents, did he?
That's right. I told him to get out. I needed to learn about the 45-minute day before they picked next year's calendar. Because, you know, all our teachers want a week off at Thanksgiving and they want to have all these early release days. And I said, tell them, we can't give up the money. No, they can't have it. You got to stand strong.
It's all about pep rallies and early release. That was kind of the target. And it's all about how you develop your schedule. And my biggest concern was when that change modification to the SAW came out. And so hopefully by next year you can juggle and jingle and everything, you know, nobody will even be talking about it, but a couple folks scrambling this year. Robin, did I hit everything about conference?
So if you haven't called to book your hotel room, go ahead and do that. Make sure you get your registration in before the early bird deadline and submit a presentation. You can even submit a presentation for somebody else. You just tell them what you want them to talk about.
No doubt about it. Go on there and there is a conference rate for the hotel, right, Robin?
Yes, that's listed on the website. There'll be a code.
The quicker, honestly, even if you haven't registered, I'd call on there and get my hotel. I'd do that tomorrow. If not, you might be in Seguin. Y'all have any hotels in Seguin, Rick?
Yes, Mark, we have hotels, running water, and electricity.
That wasn't what I meant, you know. Well, it was great seeing everyone. And again, I picked up 3 things here that I never thought and I never knew. And Amy, thanks for putting in there about all those changes. I'm going to go back and see if I can catch them before I read your email. And anyway, well, thank you guys a lot and get registered for the conference. And we will see you in November unless we see you at one of the regional trainings. Thanks a lot. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And the recording